as well as how many of you have the experience where you want to meet with your part-time faculty member before or after class, but they can't meet with you because they got to run off to their next gig somewhere else. Maybe they're teaching a class here, a class at City, a class at Palomar. They're on the road everywhere. They don't have that time to sit and meet with you and spend the time that they need to. So we also want to get some money in the budget to get some pay for part-time office hours so that part-time faculty aren't expected to meet with students for free. I mean, the reason why we have minimum wage laws on the books is because we don't expect anybody to work for free. Okay, and that includes part-time faculty. They shouldn't be giving up all of this extra time for free, which I know they do every day, but it doesn't make it right just because they're able to be exploited and have them give up that time for free. So we're working really hard on getting the governor to include in his May revise some money for those three categories: more full-time faculty, part-time equity pay, and paid office hours. So our staff has been passing around some letters for you to sign. If you could each sign one of those, we'll mail them all into the governor. So far we've gotten approximately 800 letters sent in, which is a good number, but you know, more is always better, and that would be helpful for us if you could work on that with us. Fortunately, here in San Diego, because our union has decided to make this a priority, we do have some job protections, health care benefits, and some paid office hours for our part-timers, but it's nowhere near what it should be. Our part-timer pay that we've been able to negotiate for their office hours is just barely above minimum wage. It's not a respectable wage whatsoever. And we can't make any gains in those areas until the governor and the legislature decides to fund this. And really the focus is on the governor. Last year in the legislature we were able to get them to agree, both the Senate and Assembly, $25 million for new full-time positions and $6 million for additional paid office hours, and then the governor nixed it when the budget deal was struck. So the governor is really the focus of our efforts here. This is a banner year for community colleges coming up. His January budget proposal was a record amount of money dedicated to community colleges, and the legislative analyst predicts that's only going to get better between now and the May revise. So how the politics work on the state budget: the governor comes out with a proposal in January. In May, he gives a revised proposal, and then they, have the big budget debates between May and June. They settle the budget in June, and then that's our funding for the following year. But this is the year to make a move on it because there's a lot of money in the state right now. So this is when we got to make our voices heard and make some things change so that we can have equity all throughout the campus, so that we can treat everybody who has the same job, who does the same work, who has the same qualifications with the dignity and respect that they deserve. So I wanted to bring up next the president of Mesa College, Pam Lester, who was also very supportive of part-time faculty, and she'll talk a little bit about that.
I'm not quite as nimble as Jim, so I'm going to stand right here so I don't topple off the side. So first of all, I just want to thank you for coming out today, because it is an issue that's very important to me and to the administration of both the college and the district. As someone who spent my first 7 years of my career as an adjunct teaching at 3 different colleges, racking up lots of miles on my car and my tires and my gas tank, I understand firsthand what it feels like to feel like you don't have a home. And so I am very much supportive of our adjunct faculty. What I wanted to let you all know is that we were able to hire 28 full-time faculty this last year, thanks to the forethought of our Board of Trustees and our Chancellor. And of those 28 faculty, 17 were adjuncts that served in this district and at this college. And the reason that I think that's important is the value of the experience of teaching at Mesa or other places in our district is of great value to us when we're looking for full-time faculty. So it's something that not only are we just saying we're supportive, we are supportive. We want to make sure that people come to full-time jobs. The other thing that Jim talked a little bit about is the statewide picture. And while this is a banner year for community colleges, the money that we're getting, they're sending to us for specific purposes rather than taking a look at how we can apply those dollars across the board. So it does limit sometimes how we can do things locally. So the idea of encouraging the governor to look at this as a statewide issue is a good thing. Community colleges are funded at the lowest end of the totem pole, lower than K-12. And so when the UCs are getting $23,000 a student and we get $4,000 a student, you can see that from a systems perspective, we have a pay inequity problem because we don't have the dollars that we would like to actually put onto pay scales. So talking to the governor is a good thing, but I just want to thank you all for being here today. If you're an adjunct, will you stand up and wave? Can we thank these folks for hanging in there with us? Some of you I know I've seen for a while since I've been here. I know you've been here for a while. So we thank you for your work. We know that you work hard. We know that you make it really seamless for your students so that they don't know that you don't have a permanent office here. You give them that level of attention, and we appreciate it. So, and thanks to the full-timers that are out here also, and thanks to our students for being here. Jim?